Hey, this is Rich with Pools, and today we're looking at how to set up OmniLogic from scratch.
We have two variable speed pumps. Right now we don't have any water feature pumps, so we're just going to say no to that. Configure any lights. These have LED Hayward tube LED 14 volt lights, so yes. What kind of lights? Yes, the 14 volt. And then they are color named, so they are color lights. They did change that in the program, so that's good. Where are they wired to? Yeah, they're wired to a relay, yes. And then select the relay. And then so where is it at? So it's high voltage relay 2. That's where we're going to select right there. High voltage relay 2. Do you want to test for direct capability? Yes, I want to test for that. So this is going to do a little thing for a couple of minutes, and then it's going to be clicking, and then it's going to say yes. Did it activate in the pool? Yes, and then you just go ahead and say yes. All right, now we're continuing. It says you want it to enable direct connect. Then yes. Setting the lights. It'll do its thing for a little bit. It takes a couple minutes for it to say that it's done. Alright, okay, so lights successfully set to OmniDirect mode. Alright, good. How many pool accessories? I don't have any pool accessories. I'm not even sure what that would be. Pool accessory. It's not water features, but not sure what pool accessories you have. I usually never have those on pools. Okay, so we're done with the pool setup. So now we're going to go and then we're going to do the spa. Wait. Okay, yeah. So I have to go hit this little arrow to go forward. Now we're selecting the spa, and then name the spa. It's that. I don't need to put in the gallons. And then does this share the equipment? So yes, usually on OmniLogic with actuators, then you are going to share the same pump. If for some reason you had different equipment and stuff, then you do the setup differently. But for this pool builder that I'm doing setups for, he always, has it together like a normal pool instead of having separate equipment. So yes, it shares the equipment. So then it's saying, hey, is it okay for the same speeds? Yes, I still want the same speeds. Okay, do you have a spillover? So this is, people are going to say you should answer yes to this. This is the system trying to monitor the spillover, or in a different way, trying to switch something to spillover. The way these pools are designed, then when the pool is running in pool mode, I'm still going to have a spillover. So I don't have to change a valve to make it spill over. So I'm going to say no. This is the way that this pool builder sets these up. And so it does have a spillover, but I'm not telling the OmniLogic that I need you to do something related to the spillover or change a valve or something. So that's why I say no to that, because in pool mode, it's going to be spilling over. The spa is going to be spilling over to the pool. So I don't need the Omni to be helping you with that. Here's the actuators. It's always valve 1 and then valve 2. They're always tied together, valve 1 and valve 2. There's the suction and return actuators. Whenever you go to spa mode and activate the pump, then it's going to send the signal to both of those to change because you're going from pool mode to spa mode. Heater enabled, no. I'm going to do that, no. Heater extends, no. Okay, maximum temperature for the spa. Okay, we're in the spa configuration. See, maximum temperature for the spa is 104. That's the maximum it'll let you go to, even if you're doing it from the, percentage output for the spa, I put to 0 for the chlorinator. I don't need it running. T-cell, same thing, same warning there, that's fine. Yes, I understand. Where's the cell located? Yes, you're just still going through that normal stuff. How many cleaners? No, because cleaners not related to the spa. How many water features related to the spa? No. Configure any lights? No, you don't want to have to configure them. If you did have this pool builder, we put all the lights together. if for some reason you did have a separate light that you want to run separately in the spa, then you would say yes, and then you would configure that particular light. But the way that this pool builder does it, all of the lights are together, so we just activate them from the pool area. So no, I don't want to set up any lights. Any spa accessories? What would be a spa accessory? Yes, we have one, like a blower. Name the accessory, click on this, and then you have a selection for a blower. Name the accessory. Does it have a dedicated pump? No. Is it wired to a relay? Yes. And then where's our relay? It's on high voltage relay 4. So we have to select that. You have to come down. These are low voltage relays. You have to come down so that you see you have access to that high voltage relay 4. High voltage relay 4 right there. So you have the valve. No. Freeze protect enabled. No, you don't need the blower enabled on freeze protect. It's just, it doesn't have any water. It's an electrical blower, just blowing air. So no. I've had customers say, well, it's 32 degrees outside, my blower's on. Why is my blower on? Well, it's because a pool professional didn't set it up correctly and they put it on freeze protect. Okay, do you have an air temp sensor? Yes. Where's it wired to? It's going to be wired to your air temp if the electrician or whoever put it in the right place. Do you have a water temp sensor? Yes. If you have an OmniLogic, then you have to have this stuff set up so that your sensors and stuff will work. There's the pool temp sensor, water temp sensor. Do you have a flow switch? Now this is where you would answer yes if I had a salt cell. Okay. So this is for the flow switch, and it's going to be flow switch 1. And that's where it would be plugged into right over here, flow switch 1 right there for your flow switch for your salt cell. So flow switch 1, that's where it would be plugged into. Otherwise, you would answer no to a flow switch. You don't have to set up a flow switch. It's only for a salt cell. So go forward. Oh. And then now we're done with that area. So we check, configure any backyard lights. You can, if you had an extra, relay or something, if you wanted to, say, put landscaping lights on that relay, then you could say yes, and then you could put, landscaping lights on that relay or something like that. But in this case, we don't have any landscaping lights to set up. How many backyard accessories in the backyard? Again, if you wanted to put more, if you had another relay bank here with several more relays, you could put different things like maybe you have fireball, or like a fire pit out there or something. If you wanted to set up in the backyard the fire pit, to the relay that you could turn on the electric igniter or something like that, and then it lights. Or maybe some other lights or something like that. Fence lights as opposed to pergola lights, as opposed to, flower lights. You could just do different things related to the backyard, just part of integrating the backyard stuff. We'd like to add any interlock. I say no to adding interlocks. An interlock is, for example, the main interlock that you would add is setting up the cleaner pump to not be able to come on unless the main pump is on. Well, okay, I understand that, but if you have the programming set right, then there's no problems. If the customer's messing with it and they mess up something, well, that's their problem. They shouldn't have been messing with something that they didn't understand about. But the main pump always has to be on a high speed, 90% or something like that, if the cleaner pump comes on, because it gets its main feed water from it, and it needs to be on a high speed so that it can get plenty of feed water from it, and then so it pushes the Polaris. So I say no to interlocks. I personally don't like them. You can set up an interlock for that if you wanted to. That's your choice. Now you're just reviewing everything summary here, and then you're going to say yes to save and restart. Okay, now it's already saved and restarted. I'm going to show you. I'm going to come in here and then put in the system number. Okay, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to edit current configuration just to show you something. Now, system options, when you come in here, then modify network setup, that's where you would come to if you wanted to change it to the external antenna. Okay, so I set not now right now because we don't have the antenna yet, but if it was a wired direct connection for Cat 5 coming into the side of the Omni right over here, then you'd go to a wired connection. If it was external antenna, that's where you'd set it up, and that's under system options when you come into the config area when you're editing something. Now I'm going to edit this, and I'm just going to go into pool, and I'm going to delete that salt cell because I don't actually have a salt cell. Let's see. Chlorinator, there it is. We want to delete that item, yes. Okay. So now, let's see, sensors. I also need to go to, let's see, flow sensor for the pool. Let's see. Yeah. Flow sensor, I'm going to delete that flow sensor because I don't actually have one because we don't have the salt cell. So we're going to hit that. Would you like to save these changes? Yes. And that's how you would edit something if you needed to change something. And that's also where you, in the system options, that's where you set up the, change your settings for setting up the antenna. That should be it. Here's just a normal setup for the schedule for the filter pump and the cleaner pump that I usually set up. And so I'll just show you that real quick. If you have any dials right here, then that means you have some schedule set up on that particular item. So here's what I usually set up. I usually set up 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. For the main pump, and then you can check it, and then the setting as far as the speed, go under custom, it's going to be 90%. So I usually set that up 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And that's going to be when the main pump is going to kick up to 90% because I want the cleaner then to come on from 7:01 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I want the cleaner to come on a minute later to make sure the main pump's good and primed up, it's running for a minute, and then the cleaner pump kicks on a minute later. After it runs the cleaner, then I have set up from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on medium speed. That's just 50%. It's a real good circulation speed. It moves the water throughout the day. You're saving a lot of electricity on that variable speed pump. And then from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., when usually people are here, they're out there by the pool or whatever, I want it to kick up a little bit higher. So I have it set up on a custom setting of going to 75%. 75, 80%, something like that. It kind of depends on how big your pool is. If you need more flow, then you can certainly set it up higher. But that's sort of the normal setup that I usually have. Obviously, you can vary from that. You can run it longer periods of time at lower speeds. You can run some low overnight if you want to. Totally up to you. But that's sort of how I set it up during the day, and I don't even really run it. That's going to be plenty of circulation throughout the day. I don't even run it in Texas. I don't even run it at night. I usually don't run any low speed or anything at night. I just run it during these times, and then at 10 o'clock it kicks off until it kicks back on the next morning at 7 a.m. But anyway, that's how. I also want to show you a nice little feature over here. If you want to turn some of these off in the wintertime, let's say that you only wanted to run it this amount, and you didn't even want to run that afternoon time, you didn't even want to run that, then you can just turn that off. You don't have to delete it, but you're just turning that particular schedule off, and then it's going to run these instead of running that one as well. And then once you get back towards the spring temperatures, you can turn that one back on and it starts running again. I think it's a really nice little feature right there. Obviously you can hit the delete button if you need to actually delete a schedule. Otherwise you can always go in and edit it if you want to change the times, but I think that's a real nice feature of turning it off, so that particular schedule that you have is off for a certain period of time if you need to do that. That's it. That's how I usually set up an OmniLogic schedule. I hope this is helpful. We'll see you next time.